Well, I'm going to get into. So, took a trip to Rome. Um, as you guys know, you have the likes of Vatican City, visited the Vatican there. You have the likes of the Colosseum. And then there's an underground city. And what really got me interested was there's a lot of tiles still there on the ground. And you're going to wonder why I'm talking about tiles, guys. This exact, what do they call it? Well, in Europe, we call it fish scale tiling. And it's more or less where the tiling overlaps each other. And you see it on the bathrooms around the world. And why I thought that was important was it was used the exact same 2,000 years ago. And we honestly believe that we are so much more advanced, we're so much more smart than we were previously, which you can agree, you can disagree. But it did make me think across the stock market. So we honestly, hand on heart, we believe that we are better investors than we were 100 years ago, 50 years ago, even 20 years ago. And we say, yes, we have the apps, we have all the information, we can get the earnings reports as and when, and it's so much easier for us to trade. We're now exposed to companies like Rocket Lab, or with myself, I talk a lot about eVTOLs, and I'm going to leave that for a separate stream. And it will get further into the likes of Cathie Wood and anyone that's bullish on Cathie Wood. I'm a big follower of Cathie Wood. But yeah, getting back to the fish scale tiling. So we still do that today. And why have we not adapted our technology? Why are we not doing anything different than the Romans done? We all know Rome wasn't built in a day. That concept goes around absolutely everywhere. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel wasn't built in a day, so make sure to bang it. But when it comes to the likes of looking back at history, looking back at charts, we know, guys, if you haven't followed Chimp Capital on X, he has absolutely smashed this run. But when we look at charts, we're looking at mathematical equations, but we're also looking at history. We're looking at what has happened in the past. So many of you guys are massive when it comes to AI. AI is really big on pattern recognition. That is exactly what humans are very good at doing, pattern recognizing. And you'll find the likes of Warren Buffett. I'm going to leave Cathie Wood out of that. But any of your big investors were really good at analyzing patterns going forward. But why can't you teach a machine this? Well, look, guys, eventually you will teach machines to pattern recognize. But what you can't teach a machine, and it's exactly what we do here on Rocket Lab Fan Club, is you look at the pressures going forward and why things need to adapt. Again, going back to that 2,000-year-old fish scale tile, the only reason that hasn't adapted because there's no pressure for it to adapt. There's no need for it to evolve. I've changed my whole outlook looking at that on how I value a company. I am no longer I am looking at the past, but I'm no longer focusing heavily on the past. What we need to think, guys, is Rocket Lab have done well until now. However, they are not profitable. But we need to use a blank white sheet and just look at the capital they have, the assets they have, the acquisitions they have, and what they are doing going forward. That sort of got me thinking over that whole time there in Rome. That, look, we are very quick to look at the past history, what has happened. Yeah. I then travel across to Naples and I visit Vesuvius. Vesuvius is one of the most active and dangerous volcanoes in the world. Flattened Pompeii. Pompeii was under 25 foot of volcanic ash. But Naples itself is a very big city in Italy. Now, to some of you guys in the US, this is not going to be a big city, but it's home to around 3 million people. Now, this is where I was standing at the top of Vesuvius, and this is where I want to share that picture. I will do it in my deep dive of my Italy trip. I was looking down into the crater, and I asked the tour guide, will this definitely erupt again? And he said, we are 99.999% certain Vesuvius will erupt again. And I said, how detrimental will that be to the surrounding area? We know what happened to Pompeii. He said it's going to flatten Naples and everyone will have to evacuate. Now, going back to the stock market, we are very frothy at the moment. We are like me at the top of the mountain looking at this very dangerous creature, a pullback. We know a pullback will occur at some stage. What you need to do is climb the top of that mountain, and we need to analyze what is the best option for us to take. You'll get a lot of people being safe and they'll say, take profit now, jump out of the stock. But that is exactly like moving out of Naples now, knowing that it may not erupt for another 1,000 years. We don't know when the pullback's going to occur. So why are we prepping for a pullback prior to the pullback? However, if that eruption does take place, sometimes it may be too late to pull out or run away from Naples. So then you're better just staying where you are and protecting yourself or protecting your portfolio. Yeah, and guys, we finished the week on 51.39. Please jump into the comments and let me know, what is your prediction for next week? Are we going to have a pullback? Are we going to consolidate? Or are we going to steam ahead forward? But I've had a great time. Back from vacation. No better person to spend it with. Christopher Bell. My name's Liam. I am one of the Hustle Brothers here. Here, my good friend Christopher Bell. He held the ship for the whole week. Love these streams with him. We're going to continue doing it daily. We're going to drop so much more content. I'm excited about this new phase in the channel. Do bang that subscribe button. We are growing day by day. Rome wasn't built in a day. This channel is more than just content. This is a family. This is a journey for not just me, not just Chris, but for all of us. Guys, until tomorrow, until more bangers get dropped, we'll see you then.